Hello, everyone. Healing and Deliverance Tree Channel here. I just had an experience earlier today while I was out and about, and I wanted to share something with you. So, I was out and about, and a gentleman, older gentleman, he said to me, "Are you the one who's brought all this?" Because it's a really, really pretty, very sunny day, okay, today. And he said, "Oh, are you the one who's brought all the beautiful sunshine in for us today?" And I kind of giggled it off and brushed it off, of course. But um, the part that I want to focus on is that I was not speaking to this person. I wasn't even making eye contact with him. I wasn't walking around the building smiling and waving and being extra friendly to everyone, getting everyone's attention. None of that. I honestly was just talking, probably with my head down. I didn't even barely look at him. And he had that to say to me. My point is that for whatever reason, this person, even just by standing by me, and I hadn't even said one word to him, I hadn't even looked at him at all, chose to describe me as bringing in the sun and the beautiful sunshine. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it made me think about, and I want you to possibly ponder a thought about what type of energy do you carry and what type of energy do you bring to the table, and what type of energy do you bring into the atmosphere, and what type of energy do you bring into the room. What are you a carrier of? Are you a carrier of light, or are you a carrier of darkness, or are you a carrier of some other sort of energy and presence? Now, again, I was not projecting any type of overtly friendly behavior. I mean, if you know me, I honestly 98% of the time I'm off to myself. I don't really interact with people all that much. I mean, I am friendly, but I tend to just mind my business, stay to myself, and go about my way. So this is not about an exterior behavior. Some people think that, oh, if you look the part, you have a light about you, or if you dress the part, or, if I look meek and kind, that must mean I'm of the light. Or if I behave a certain way or talk a certain way, that I am a source of light. And that's actually very untrue. And I feel like today's experience proved that, in which I was exhibiting none of the typical exterior physical behaviors, words, gestures, smiles, demeanors necessarily what we would associate with light. However, this person, when they came and, had an encounter with me or came into contact, it wasn't even directly with me. I was standing off to the other side. He chose to associate me automatically with the sun, okay, which is one of the most powerful sources of light in creation. Um, and so I wanted everyone to just consider pondering that thought. What type of presence and what type of energy do I bring and do I carry, even when I'm not trying to, even when I'm not, going out of my way to do so, even when I'm not projecting or forcing it? What just organically and naturally comes with my presence? What does organically and naturally flow from within me? Whatever we carry when it comes to light and darkness, or some type of, let's say, C ambiguous category, and whatever presence we carry, that is based on what is in our heart. Not about how we look, not about how we talk, not about how we act necessarily. It comes from what's in our heart, and it comes from whatever source we carry within us. What is our source of light? Where does our source come from? Does it come from a place of light, or does it come from a place of darkness, or is it just some ambiguous source with a bunch of, everything but the kitchen sink? Who knows on what day? Speaking about, as I mentioned, where does the source of your energy and the source of your presence comes from? All of us have an energy about us, to our being and to our personality and to our existence, and all of us carries a presence with us wherever we go, whether we're speaking, silent, engaging, not engaging, whether we're asleep, awake, walking, running. It does not matter. We always have an energy, and we always have a presence that is with us and that emanates from us and follows us wherever we go. So All of us gets those things from our what's in our heart and from whatever our source is. It's just like a power plant, or let's say the gas station. If what they have at the gas station is really cheap, watered down, poor quality, then, and if that's what you put in your car, that's where you got that's the source of your gas is low quality, then your car is going to run in a low quality fashion. So it's all about who and what is your source that is within you. That is what creates the quality and defines what type of energy and what type of presence you bring and emanate. If my, just for me personally, if my source, my personal source just happens to be Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And so it speaks for itself when it comes to what type of energy my source is, the source of light. And so therefore I don't have to necessarily behave a certain way, look a certain way. I don't even have to speak. I could be silent. I could be pretty much almost non-existent, but my energy speaks for me and my presence goes before me. Okay. And whatever your source is and whoever your source is, that's going to determine what you emanate and give out. That just happens to be for me. That's my source. I don't have to run around handing out Bibles. People don't even know I'm a Christian, but my energy and my presence speaks for itself that it comes from a source of light. If your source is a source of darkness, then that is what will be inside of you, and that's what emanates from you. Whether you're talking, it doesn't matter if you're behaving nice, you look nice, you dress nice, you can do everything nice and everything right, but if your internal energy and your internal presence is darkness, that is still gonna translate outward to people darkness. And if you're one of these people where it's not necessarily light and not necessarily dark, but it's just a hodgepodge of a bunch of things, some of it may be okay and kind of light, some of it is horribly dark, some of it is random and in the middle, some of it is pretty much ambiguous and kind of nothing, it has no particular direction, then that is what type of energy you carry and emanate, and your presence will be very inconsistent, very all over the place, and very chaotic. It will have no particular designation. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because whatever we put out is what we attract, and whatever we put out is what is returned to us. So, if your presence and your energy and what you carry and what you bring is something of light, to where people, when they experience you, they experience light, then that is who you will attract. People of the light and things of the light, and that is what will be returned to you. If you bring to the table and the atmosphere and into a room and into an encounter or a relationship or whatever the case may be, darkness, then that is who you attract, is other vessels of darkness, and that is what returns to you, dark energy. Okay, we cannot expect to walk around putting out and emanating dark energy and then expect to receive smiles and sunshine and puppy dog tails and rainbows from everyone around us. That's just not physics, okay? And that's just not the law of the universe, and that's just not common sense. So you guys have a blessed evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope this really gave someone out there something valuable to ponder on and to consider. Bye-bye. See you next time.